Hey everybody, welcome back to another broadcast system here in my channel. um, this is our last phase today of the stabilization series. We're going to kind of finish off the whole process by working on the arms, biceps and triceps together today in one day. Okay, so as you saw from the beginning of the week, we started off with the larger muscle groups. We worked in the chest, then worked in the back, then the legs, then the shoulders. Now today we're just going to finish off with biceps and tris. Now remember, going into this whole stabilization series, you have to start off, for those of you who are beginners, by doing just simple balance exercises like a one-leg stance. Then you can progress a little bit more to like more movement-based patterns, side to side, back. And then after that, you can progress to this level, which is a little bit more advanced because you need to have, like as I said before, I mentioned this several times, you need to be able to have that it's just overall core strength, okay, throughout the whole entire lower pelvic hip complex, your abdominal wall, lower back, glutes, all of it. It requires a lot of strength to be able to support these positions in order for you to do those concentric movements. Okay, so again, now we're going to go into the last section. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to go into a single leg dumbbell curl. Now these right here, for those of you, again, you're more than welcome to grab a little bit of a heavier weight. If you're a little bit more advanced, okay, if you have a pretty solid core, solid leg complex, you can actually hold your weight by doing these proprioceptive exercises, then you're more than welcome to increase with a little bit higher dumbbell. Okay, so in this case I have a 15 pounds right here. Okay, but again, you're more than welcome to go anywhere between 5 to 10 if you're on the lighter side, or if you want to go a little bit heavier, up to maybe about 20, 25 pounds should be fine. Okay, so we're going to start off on the right leg. Remember, you want to be able to control that balance as best you can and hold this position. And you're going to come up and do a dumbbell bicep curl. Okay, I usually like to start off with a bilateral curl. It's the easiest one to do. Okay, then I will kind of explain the progressions as we go on. So bilateral curl with a little wrist rotation. Okay, you can also rotate the wrists, or you can come up just straight up like this as well. Again, it requires a little bit more stability because you're in a single leg position. Okay, so it works a little bit more from the core. So when you're doing these kind of exercises and you're holding yourself in this position, if you notice, the stabilizer muscles in your abdominal wall really engage a lot harder. You're basically putting more deeper fibers in your core to work in to be able to support yourself, support your body, to stabilize you. Okay, so it's important in this position to really gain control of your overall kinetic chain. Okay, so you're going to come up like this. That's one variation. Another one is with wrist rotations. So wrist rotations like this, you kind of rotate. Okay, and you can also work in a little bit of the of the forearms as well, targeting the forearms in the process by doing a hammer curl. Okay, the hammer curls are great because you're working your biceps, but you're also targeting your forearms. Okay, working your brachioradialis muscle, which is this muscle group right here, a little linked to the elbow joint. Okay, so that's another variation as well. As you progress with this exercise, okay, you can also go into other types of patterns as well. So when you start in this position, if you want to challenge it a little bit more, you can also do alternative curls, alternate curls. Okay, one arm after the other. And if you want to challenge yourself even more, if you feel, and your body will tell you after a while, guys, when you start training with these kind of exercises, after a while you realize that your body will start talking to you and letting you know that you're ready to progress to the next level. Only you can really understand that. Okay, that's an individual biological side. Okay, so what we're going to do after that is you can do a unilateral curl. Now the unilateral curls, what I recommend is you just keeping one dumbbell on the ground, just working one arm at a time. Okay, it's a little bit more challenging, but you're more than welcome to incorporate that as well. Okay, so again, I'm trying to explain all these variations to you and all these progressions so you understand exactly where you can start off in and then how you can build your way up from there. Okay, so with this exercise right here, what I recommend is you're doing anywhere between 10 to 12 repetitions, okay? About resting for about 45 seconds in between. Okay, so we're going to start off, I'm going to do a bilateral curl with you. Okay, so just start off with me. You ready? So on the right side, hold yourself together. Keep your left leg up, and your right leg is going to be balanced on the ground. You ready? Engage that core and go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, couple more, 11, last one, and 12. Beautiful. Now what I recommend is for you to rest for anywhere between 40 to 45 seconds before you switch over to the other leg. Again, if you want to challenge yourself a little more, if you're a little bit more advanced, if you feel that your core and your, especially your glutes in this case, are pretty strong, you're more than welcome to go straight into the next one, okay? Now again, it's a lot of tension buildup on the glutes because you're holding yourself in that position. So it might be a little bit tough for some of you, okay? So you're more than welcome to give yourself a little bit of a rest point before you work your way into the next next leg position, okay? So you're going to hold this position again. Now we're going to switch over to the left leg. Again, we're trying to do 12 reps, anywhere between 10 to 12. Are you ready? Go. 1. Try to keep those elbows locked in when you do the biceps, guys. This is just obviously showing you simple kinesiological information here. Okay, when you're doing a bicep curl, you want to make sure that your elbows are locked in right next to your rib cage, so they can really contract those bicep muscles. Okay, the more of a concentrated curl, the better it's going to be for the bicep to grow and build strength. Okay. Okay, so we got a couple more. Last one. And rest. There you go. So that's one full set. Okay. So remember, when you're doing single leg exercises like this one, integrating resistance, common resistance exercises in the mix, you got to make sure that you do the one set is going to be on one leg, and then you're going to switch over to the next leg. And again, between each leg, you're more than welcome to rest 40-45 seconds. And after you're done with the first set, you want to rest for another 45 seconds as well before you get into the second set. Okay, so that's one exercise that I think is very efficient to really target your biceps, and also to be able to use your deeper core strength to work in overall, and also challenge your balance in the process. So that's a wonderful little integrated movement pattern there to work in. The second exercise we're going to do, it goes single leg barbell curl. You're more than welcome to switch it up. Okay, I don't have a barbell with me here, but I'm just going to show you guys. So if you have a barbell, okay, you're more than welcome to grab it as well. Same format that you're doing with the dumbbells, but in this case, you're just using a barbell. Okay, so we're going to start off on the single leg, okay, and the right leg on the ground, left leg lifted up. You want to make sure to control that balance first before you get into the actual movement of the bicep curl. Okay, you're going to start down here, keep elbows locked into your ribcage, come straight up. 1, 2, 3, 4, follow me, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure to try to keep the bar as straight as possible. 9. Try not to tilt side to side. 11 and 12. Beautiful. So after that, depending on how heavy your weight is, again, the bar, depending if you guys have a barbell at home, okay, usually barbells range anywhere between 15 to 25 pounds, okay? So when you put in the plates next to it, you're going to be probably integrating about maybe 2 to 5% extra on that as well, okay? So you have to be able to really analyze how much weight you have overall and if you can actually handle the full 10 to 12 reps. Because, guys, as I mentioned before, quality is definitely more important than quantity. It's important for you to do the reps efficiently than actually having to lift too much weight. Okay, otherwise you're not going to be able to do it properly. Okay, so we're going to switch over now, do the left leg. Okay, left leg on the ground, make sure to engage our core, elbows locked in. Go. 1, 2, come all the way down. 3, full range of motion on the bar. 4, 5, really control that breathing. 6, again, these exercises right here, they're just normal resistance exercises, but you're integrating that with proprioceptive techniques like this one, single leg stance. Okay, so like I mentioned before, you're really using your core strength a lot more to be able to stabilize yourself as you're doing the bicep curl. And rest. That's done. All right, so that was just another variation of what we did with the dumbbells. So instead of doing it with the dumbbells, you do it with a barbell. Okay, same position. You're standing on one leg at a time. Make sure that after each leg, you rest for about 40 seconds. Okay. And after you're done with the first set, you want to make sure to rest about 45 seconds before you actually get into the next set. All right, guys? Nicely done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is I'm going to show you, unfortunately I don't have a stability ball as I mentioned, but I'm going to show you the exercise and you guys can kind of do them along when you have some time. So this one right here now, it's going to be a ball or a dynadisc in this case, tricep extension, okay? So that was the biceps. So there's two exercises that I think are very important for you to do. So again, the curls you can vary, guys. When you're doing the bicep curls, again, in that single leg stance position, similar as you're doing it on the ground with two legs, you're doing just regular strength training, you can vary it up a little bit, depending on what area of the bicep you want to work. For example, you can also do a drag curl. Drag curl is another variation where you start off here. It's kind of like an upright row, but you're doing it in the bicep position with the elbows bent. So you're going to come up, you're going to drag the bar or the dumbbells all the way up to your chest from down up. So if you see, it's a little bit different than doing a regular curl. Instead of you doing a drag curl, you're lifting it up. Okay, your elbows are basically coming straight up, high, right next to your rib cage, and you're lifting the bar up as close to your chest as possible. Okay, what this does basically allows you to target a little bit more from the origin of the shoulder, which is right here, to really build that muscle. Okay, another variation as well, as I mentioned before, hammer curls, works in the forearm a little bit more. Then you can also do some wrist rotations. And again, don't forget about the progressions where you can alternate or do unilaterals. Okay, so those are some variations that you can incorporate as well. So let's get into the triceps now. So for the triceps, okay, I'm going to show you on a Dynadisc, but again, you're more than welcome to use a stability ball as well. Stability balls are actually more efficient because you're in a higher rise, so you actually can support yourself a little bit more from the ground up. Okay, so, but I'm going to show you in the Dynadisc just to give you a little insight of how to do this. Okay, all right. So the first exercise I'm going to show you is basically a tricep extension. Now the tricep extensions, when you're lying on the ball, okay, you're basically going to be lying with your back. Okay, your back right in the center of the ball, like this in this case. Okay, and what you're trying to do here is you're trying to do a tricep extension. So on the stability ball, if you have one at home, you're going to lie in this position like this, stay comfortable. Make sure, if you can, that your neck is basically supported on the ball. If not, if it's slightly supported, at least it'll give you a little bit more stability depending on what your comfort level is. Okay, so you're going to come down like this. Now what you're trying to do here is you're trying to keep your elbows, go for a little bit. You're trying to keep your elbows, okay, fully extended all the way up. Now, for those of you who are not as don't have a lot of endurance built in, muscle endurance in your triceps, now you're more than welcome to keep your elbows basically aligned with your shoulders and come straight down like this. Okay, it's a little bit easier to do. Doesn't require a lot of strength from your triceps to work in. Now, if you're a little bit more advanced, you want to challenge yourself a little bit more, bring those shoulders back, extend those shoulders, and then you want to come down and do an extension. Okay? So we're going to do a couple extensions, a couple sets. Okay? My goal is when you're doing it, depending on the strength level and also the dumbbells that you have available. Okay, I recommend anywhere between 5 to maybe 20 pounds on the dumbbells. Okay? You're more than welcome to use that weight factor. Okay, so we're going to start off here. You guys follow me. Ready? Go for it. So remember, trying to keep those elbows locked in as much as possible. Okay, 2, 3, keep going. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, couple more, 11, and 12. Beautiful. So after that, we'll rest for about 40 seconds, 45 seconds, and then we'll get into the second set. Again, guys, this is not the best option. What I recommend is, like I said before, is a stability ball because you're in a higher rise. A stability balls are great too because it's a more of an unstable surface when it comes to these kind of exercises. Okay, so you basically allows you to engage your core a lot more. Okay, to be able to work in to stabilize yourself while you're doing the tricep extensions. It's a great stabilization exercise. Okay, and the equipment for the stability ball is the best one to use. Okay, but again, I'm using this because it's what I have available. Okay, so let's get into the next one. So same thing. We're gonna lie on the ball, or in this case that I have on the disc. You're gonna bring your arms back slightly. For those of you a little bit more advanced, if not, try to keep them here. Okay. Try to engage that core. You want to keep those elbows locked, and you're just coming up and down. 1, 2. Make sure to control your breathing. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you can feel really the pressure coming from the core. Okay, you feel that tension build up. That's because those deep muscle fibers are working in a lot harder than usual. You're recording a lot more fibers. There you go. And rest. Alrighty. Alright, so that was a tricep extension on the ball. Okay, another great stabilization exercise that allows you to really target those muscles in the tris, these muscles right here. Okay, using your overall core strength to work in a little bit harder to be able to stabilize your body. Okay, so again, it's an integrated movement pattern that works both resistance and balance training together. That's what it's all about. Okay, let's switch over to the next one. Okay, so what we're going to do next is a prone lying kickbacks. Now these right here, I'm just going to show you. Unfortunately, I can't do it on the Dynadisc because it's in a prone position. The prone meaning forward position, supine meaning lying on your back. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do tricep kickbacks. So if you have your stability ball available, guys, I'm going to show you. You're going to lie on the ball. Again, usually when you lie on the stability ball, you want to make sure that the ball is basically in the upper part of your abdominal wall right here to be able to support your body. You're going to just lie on here, okay? And what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep those elbows locked in right here as well, right next to the ball. Naturally, because depending on the size of the ball, your arm's going to reach out a little wider, okay, like this, okay? And what you're trying to do is you're trying to keep those elbows locked in, okay, right if you can. And it might be a little bit challenging for some of you because you may not have a lot of support from your upper back and your rotator cuffs, but do the best you can to keep those elbows locked right in shoulder width. And you want to come back and do kickbacks like this with the triceps. Okay, so lying on the ball, you're going to do kickbacks like this. Okay? Alright, so I'm just going to show you in the ball. We're going to do a couple sets. We'll pretend there's a ball right in front of me. We're going to lie on it, trying to keep that back as straight as possible. I'm going to come back. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep going, guys. 6, 7, 8. Nicely done. 9, 10. Nice and easy on the way back. 11, 12. Yeah, the tempo when you're doing these exercises too, because this is more of a concentrated tricep exercise, you got to make sure that the tempo is a little bit slower on the way down. Okay, so about 2 seconds and about 3, 4 on the way down. All right, so this will allow you to really focus on those triceps as best you can. Okay, so that was the exercise for the tricep kickbacks on the stability ball. Okay, now with those, I recommend you doing a couple sets as well. Anywhere between 10 to 12 reps is pretty good. Again, it's a concentrated exercise for the triceps, so you don't need too many reps, okay? The rest are about 45 seconds in between. Okay, now remember, there are several progressions to that as well. So as you see, if you get a little bit more comfortable with this exercise and your muscles are a little bit stronger, okay, then you can more than welcome to vary it up a little bit by doing alternating tricep kickbacks, so one arm after the other, or you can also do unilateral. Okay, so the one arm stays down, no dumbbell needed on this arm, and you just kind of go one arm at a time, like this. Okay, just one arm at a time. All right, guys? So it's another progression as well. As you get stronger, you progress to those. You got to remember that those are progressions for a reason, because you have to start off and be smart. If your body is capable of doing anywhere between 12 to 15 reps after 2 or 3 sets successfully with both arms, then you should definitely progress to alternating curls. And after the alternating curls, if you see you can progress even more, then you can go into the one arm to really focus, okay, and avoid that bilateral deficit. Okay, so another great exercise to incorporate right there. Okay, hope you guys like that one. Now we're just going to finish up by showing you a couple more that you can do. Okay, first one is a resistance band tricep extension. Now this one right here, you can also do it. Usually when you do this with a resistance band, you got to make sure that you can place it on something. Okay, so usually tie it up behind like a doorknob or like a door itself. And then what you want to do is on a single leg stance, you want to come down like this. Okay, just with a resistance band all the way down. Or you can also do it like this. If it's behind you and this height, you can also grab the handle and come forward like this as well. It's another variation. Okay, for some of you it might be a little bit challenging, okay, because it requires a little bit more stability, not just from the course itself, but also from up here, and also more from your leg complex. Okay, so you have to kind of play with it and see if you can actually handle that type of equipment. Okay, and the last one I'm going to show you is another variation. Okay, another great stabilization exercise that requires a little bit of core strength involved. But this one right here is very efficient to really target your obliques especially, and also your front and your lower back. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do closed grip tricep extension. Okay, so for the closed grip tricep extension, you're going to come down to hands as close as possible. I like to keep it in a triangle position because then you can target a little bit more of the long part of the triceps. Okay, so you're going to come down, good anywhere between 8 to 10 reps. You're going to come down, and then just come up. You're going to rotate your body and then lift your hands way high. And then come down again. Okay, and then the other side, switch it up and lift your body high up. Okay, so you're basically doing a little bit of a lateral plank position hold. You're going to come down and then come back up. Okay, and then come down again and then come back up. Okay, that's a great exercise as well, guys, for those of you who want to challenge your core a little bit, and also if you feel like if you have a little bit of more of a stable situation, if you want to increase a little bit of that intensity, you're more than welcome to use that exercise as well. That's a wonderful exercise to challenge your shoulders, your triceps, okay, and at the same time, you're also challenging your core pretty efficiently as well. All right. All right, guys, so that was a stabilization series for the week. Hope you guys enjoy that. It's a lot of great exercises there that I definitely recommend you guys to incorporate into your daily routines. Okay, I know it can be a little bit tough now with all this COVID going on, but try to focus on these exercises at home. There's a lot of different variations, a lot of different progressions you can do. I've been trying to show you that throughout the past couple weeks so that you understand exactly how to work your body at home in the comfort of your own home. Okay, so again, these exercises, they require a lot of stability, a lot of core strength, especially on the legs, lumbar-pelvic hip complex, and the overall abdominal wall. Okay, make sure that when you do this that you actually have a pretty solid balance system throughout your whole entire kinetic chain, and at the same time that you've done a lot of resistance training in the past, so your muscles are definitely strong enough to be able to support this kind of integrated program. Okay. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Stay tuned next week as I'm going to go over some routines for you for general hypertrophy, building lean muscle mass, which I know a lot of you are interested in. We'll definitely go through some workouts like that as well. Okay, stay tuned, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the whole entire process. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And if you have any questions, always feel free to send me a message. If you have any advice on certain workouts that you want to get done, I'm more than welcome to come in at some point and put that in for you. All right? Take care.